Welcome to Journey Through the Eyes, the EMDR podcast that is here to unveil and explore the transformative power of EMDR therapy. Here at Journey Through the Eyes, our mission is to support both new and seasoned clinicians with those critical, necessary conversations and resources about EMDR therapy and powerful ways you can build your amazing private practice. I'm one of your hosts, Tamara J. Brown, licensed professional counselor and MDRIA certified EMDR therapist. I'm so proud still to say that.
And you're consultant in training now.
And consultant in training. Oh my gosh, please don't leave that out because I'm so excited about that. And I have my amazing, my beautiful, my so divine colleague and very good friend, Miss Kathy on the couch.
Tamir and I this week decided we're soulmates.
Yes. Yes.
Or this little check yes or no thing saying, are we best friends? I think you're my best friend. And she was like on the same page. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. So we have to announce it to the world, kind of like
yes.
Yes,
I love it. Yes.
And out here in Idaho, we have a very special privileged guest today, Kerry Taft. Kerry's been with me really since the very beginning at Rewired 360, and she has a wonderful system and company. I'll let her share more about that, but she's an automation specialist, so I kind of do things very impulsively and, I don't get organized, and Kerry just cleans me up and, helps me out. She has, every time I talk to her, she has something that she's doing that I don't know that she offers. So it's always new and developing, and it's so excited to have her as part of our team. I think she's a lifer. I did these interviews with a bunch of for the position to be able to help me at Rewired 360, and she blew them out of the water. She's so professional, and also just what we love is just kind. She's an educator also, so she's just an amazing human being, and we're just so excited to have her. So I'll just turn the mic over to you, Kerry, and you can kind of introduce yourself.
Well, wow, thanks. That was a nice lead into. Thank you so much, Kathy. And Tamara, thank you for having me here as well. I'm so excited to be here today. As Kathy said, I've been pretty much with Rewired 360 from the beginning. Just like with every business in the beginning, you're going to have some highs and lows, some growing pains. But part of my role with Kathy is, like she said, I'm an automations specialist or expert. So, I help her take her ideas and kind of just, throwing the pieces there together to actually like mapping it out and making sure everything runs smoothly. And so I am an educator by trade. I have a clinical degree in clinical physiology, exercise physiology. I also have a degree in non-clinical, but was teaching in both clinical and non-clinical exercise physiology, exercise science, health strategies, at a few different colleges and universities. I've hung up my cap and gown this May, actually.
Oh.
Which is exciting and scary at the same time when something has been like fitness and exercise and health has been my life for 24 years. And so now I'm like fully transitioning into this other part of helping people. And so I think for me, it's really nice because I get to still help people make their dreams come true and feel really good about themselves. And, helping businesses like Rewire 360. Yes, I'm helping Kathy grow her business, but I'm not just helping Kathy. Kathy is helping so many others. And by that extension, I'm helping so many others. So it just feels really good and like a natural transition to go from full-time educator, part-time automations expert, and now stepping into the CEO role. It feels like a natural transition because I'm still able to give and serve to others. And so I do have a business, and it's called Taft Systems. And we are all about systems and automations. I think it is the funnest thing in the world. I am very much a nerd. I love analytics. I love numbers. I love, strategy and thinking about like, what is the best flow? It's kind of like taking a little bit of psychology mixed with like marketing and putting it all together. to ensure that all of my clients have the best client journey set up for their automation. So we really focus on the client journey as the foundation when we are building systems and automation. So we want to say like, okay, when you get a client, how do they find you? What happens when they find you? How do they contact you? Then when they contact you, how are you going to contact them back? And you need to continue to nurture them and show them why you are so amazing at what you do. And we want to set these automations up in place so that you can actually go like be live with people, whether that be in person or on Zoom, and do what you do best and not worry about the back end of your operations, or not worry about if you're taking a day off that, okay, well now no one's going to get an email or no one's going to be contacted, right? So I really just love what I do. We launched roughly around the same time as you did, Kathy, about a year ago. And I'm so super proud to say we are a six-figure business in our first year.
Oh my goodness, Kerry, that's so amazing. I had no
Thank you.
idea.
It's just huge. It's so fun. I've been able to help so many clients over this past year, and we're growing. I'm able to like hire people and have people on my team, and impact lives that way as well by creating job security. And so I'm so truly grateful for finding you. And well, I don't know if I found you or you found me. The universe put us in each other's paths, but it's been a really great experience working with you and like having the different use cases. And although I have no education in like psychology or therapy outside of general like behavior change that we do for health, like physical health, I do feel like it's just such a great alignment, and
Yes.
that we were destined to work together. So
I wanted
yeah.
to ask you a little bit about, can you kind of tell us from the beginning about sort of this divination of Taft Systems and where you started and how you grew? You'd been doing it before we met last year. Could you tell us a little bit about your progression and how you came to grow and those sorts of things?
Yeah, absolutely. So as we already mentioned, I have been in academia for very long. And before academia, I worked in commercial fitness, teaching fitness, dance, just movement, coaching people. And so this isn't my first business. I had a online fitness business that I started during the pandemic. So, I was teaching lab classes and in-person exercise science classes. And, it's really hard to say, okay, we're going to do a pulmonary function test on Zoom, right? So during COVID, all campuses, everything, the world was shut down. Yes, we transitioned to Zoom, but it's not possible to do all of those same features, same aspects of teaching on Zoom. And so I found myself really worried about my finances, just like everyone else, and also worried about my health and wanted to stay connected to others and stay moving and all of that. And so what better way to do that than start an online fitness business? Well, I did that, had some like really loyal clients. It was so much work, and that industry is so saturated. And I am a true believer that health does not depend on what you look like. Health is how you feel. Health is what being able to carry the groceries without being winded or bend down and stand back up. That's health to me. During COVID, we could see this market being oversaturated with what I call Instagram fitness models, right? Oh, you want to look like me? Oh, I'm the best trainer out there. And unfortunately, the license or the term personal trainer is not a licensed term. So anyone and their mother can be a nutritionist or a personal trainer. And so, I got clients who came to me who valued expertise and education. And so for me, when I first got those clients, they were lifers, right? I still have a few to this day today, even though I'm not like running that business anymore. And so for me, I felt like I was just doing so much work on the side of trying to teach, trying to have this business, and not generating the revenue that I felt like I needed to feel like I had financial security during the pandemic. So I saw a house on Zoom, packed up my car in Arizona, drove to Indiana to take a job there, never been there,
Oh,
just
I
took
had
a
no
leap of faith,
idea. Okay, this is fun. I love this.
which is why the online business became incredibly important. And so I found a company that did digital marketing specifically for fitness businesses. And that was how I got introduced to automations. And so I just absolutely fell in love with like all the tinkering, essentially, of putting all the puzzle pieces together, making all the workflows and all the actions happen. I just absolutely loved that. And that company was great. They actually brought me on board. I shut down my fitness business and worked with them as a contractor full time. And we were just helping so many fitness businesses. Then I moved again to another state, and now in Cincinnati, Ohio, but to work at a hospital. And so, I just felt like I'm called to help more. And so I started working at the hospital, used my degrees and all that, really just didn't love it, had to get back into teaching, still doing this marketing job on the side, was let go of from the marketing job.
Oh,
I was devastated. And it was the summer, just became summer semester, and I was bored out of my mind. I felt like, what am I doing with my life? I'm called to help and serve. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to start my own automations business. And that is how Taft Systems was born. And I just started hanging out on Facebook, and I challenged myself in the month of July to take it seriously as a legit business and talk to someone every single day about my business. And that's how I met you.
yeah.
And, it just helped build my confidence, because I was really like, oh, I don't want to have sales calls. I'm not very good as like with sales. But I told myself, actually, just talk to someone every day about your business. Tell them how you can help them, give them value, no ask in return. And then it didn't feel like selling. It felt like I was just providing support to someone. And that was a really successful tactic for me. It started filling my pipeline with new leads. It started getting me referrals. It started, maybe most importantly, building my confidence to get out there and speak with random strangers and tell them, hey, tell me about all your weak spots in your business so I can make them better, right? So that's essentially how I started Taft Systems and how I grew. And it's just been more and more and more and more each month. From like October to, well, January was our highest revenue month. We just kind of exploded in growth in January. October was also a very good month for us. And then April was a very, not bad month, but our like smallest month since our very first month in July. So that kind of freaked me out a little bit. And then I'm a go-getter. I don't take no for an answer. And so beginning of May, it was just let's go. And we've just built it back up, and so incredibly proud of what I've built. And, I love my clients, I love my team members, and I just love helping people figure out just the tiny little tweaks that make a huge difference that they don't even think about.
Kerry, first of all, I just, and I'm sure Kathy will probably agree with this. She and I were talking a little bit the other day, and we're talking about doing this journey and showing up online from our humanness. Though we are professionals, we're not made of Teflon, right? And I got to tell you, thank you so much for being so beautifully transparent. because one of the things that my hope and my desire for those new seasoned clinicians or just incredible human beings who listen to this podcast, or who see it, right? That they recognize what the journey looks like, first of all, right? And a human journey of being able to take risk, and how that doesn't always look glorious like so many online people, and God bless them, right? That they try to make this journey look razzle dazzled and glittered, but really it comes with lots of challenges. And I loved how you shared, just the highs and lows, and how you came into this dream business that you're building and you're now serving. You said so many beautiful things. One of the things that I want to ask you, especially because we are looking to connect with so many different private practice professionals who want to get out here, build their business. Can you tell us what automation is?
Absolutely. So I know automation is such a broad term. It can be as much or as little as possible that you need in your business.
Okay.
So for me, I have very complex automations set up. But a simple automation could be that you have, let's say you get a new client, they start working with you, and I like to use fitness as an analogy. They start working with you the first, 2 weeks, they're feeling really crappy, everything hurts, they are questioning why they did this, they, look at you like they're gonna kill you every time they see you because you're making them, move their bodies in ways they don't move. Or don't typically move. And then week 3, week 4, week 5, they're starting to feel a little better. Oh, I can do this. Week 6, they're feeling good about themselves. They can see the transition in their body. People are commenting. They love you. They're bringing you coffee to your training session, all that jazz. That's when the perfect time would be to ask them for a review. That's when the perfect time to ask them for a testimonial. We as women are taught by society to not ask people for reviews. Not necessarily in those exact words, but we're taught to not ask, like, hey, can you tell me how good I was? Hey, can you validate me? Because then people look at us as if we're like attention seeking or think we're better than others. But no, actually, I want you to leave me some words on how good my service was so that others can find me and I can help others transition or transform the exact same way I helped you. It's not all about me, me, me. It's about actually me helping others. And having that review automation is super duper important.
Kerry,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Girl, you're going to make me go get a coffee cup. So, girl, so hold on. She just sprinkled a bunch of gold dust in here. Okay.
I know, right?
So, first of all, Kerry, man, was that incredible. I loved how you talk about, because one of the things you just did, right? I got to adjust myself because, oh my gosh. One of the things you just did was you just talked to us and you just completely blew some narratives, some unhealthy stories that we as women get taught. So thank you for holding big space for us girls.
Yeah,
Oh, we needed to hear that,
absolutely.
and needed to hear that it is okay, and that we all, girl, I could hug you and kiss your forehead. Because there's this big message, right, that gets spreaded on social media. You don't need validation. You don't need, but we need it in healthy doses.
Mhm. Yep.
To affirm that what we're bringing to the world, what we're offering the world, how we are serving is working. To
Absolutely.
give us that confirmation. And then because we live in this, and this is what I'm taking away from what you said a bit, is we live in this society that's often very masculine, right? And teaches us, don't ask,
Yeah.
just do, give and just do. But you just opened up the portal for us to be willing to get comfortable, because it does take a journey, but I want to hear what you would say, becoming comfortable with saying, I need this from you to support me in the way I've supported you, and speak to the value, not just my I, but it's like an us thing, because I want to make sure I'm serving us.
Exactly.
Oh, Kerry, that is delicious.
Well, I'm so happy that helped. I really want, especially women, to know that like you are allowed to have space and take up space. And a lot of women start their businesses because they want to help others, and especially clinicians. I mean, that is the whole goal. They want to help others, right? But you can't help anyone if people don't know about you. So you need to put yourself out there. And what better way of getting new clients than having referrals, testimonials? I don't know about you guys, but for me, if I'm going to work with someone, I'm definitely looking them up online first to see what can I find out about them. If they have a lot of good reviews, it's already sold before I even, have a chat with them. That's a really like easy win you could have. And then speaking of wins, another automation I absolutely recommend is setting up, when you get a new cell, set up an automation that sends you a notification on your phone or your email that celebrates what you just did, that celebrates your win. Because being a CEO, especially an online one, it can be very lonely.
Yeah.
And especially think about therapists. You can't just go have a chat with your friends and say, oh, you know what? I talked to Sally today and she had so and such and such and such going on in her life. You guys can't talk to people about that, right? So sometimes it can get really lonely, really hard to stay motivated all the time. When you're hopping on a call with someone or having a session with someone, you need to be in the moment and you need to have good energy and hold space for them. So how can you motivate yourself? Well, when you have these wins, however small or big they are, like I have whenever I get a new lead, I get a notification, yay, you have a new lead. And I use positive language with myself. Hip hooray, so-and-so signed the proposal. I have little confetti icon or emojis in my notifications because I want to celebrate that. Every little win is a win. I don't care that I've built a 6-figure business. I had to start somewhere. $100, that's important, right? You have to start somewhere. And then let's talk about like some practical automations. Well, appointment reminders. We all hate being no-showed. No one likes that. No one has time for that. You held space for someone on your calendar. Your time is important. You could have been doing XYZ else, making money, doing something else while you held space and they didn't show. Well, set up your appointment reminders. They get a confirmation when they book. They get an email and text when they book. They get an email 2 days before, 1 day before, 2 hours before, and a text 1 day and 1 hour before as well. So there's no, oh, I forgot. We're giving them plenty of time to cancel the call because I don't want to be stood up, because that doesn't make me feel good. And that doesn't make me want to work with you, because that tells me that you don't value my time. And I only want to work with people who see me as an extended partner of their business. That's a super easy win for people.
I feel like a little guilty because you emailed me yesterday and you're like, oh, we're on for the podcast. Okay, I'm just setting up my like stuff and I'm like, oh, I wish I could like do this thing. So I'm still trying to figure out where to put you and how you can help. So I understand, and yes, that's the goal. I just hired my digital marketing person that's gonna help me, and I'm like, okay, I need you. She's like, oh, can I do this or that? I'm going to modify this spreadsheet you have. Can I? I'm like, this is a very basic, like you take it to the next level. So what you're saying is so important. I'm trying, as a CEO too. I think there's a lot of moving parts, and just being humble, like I help people. I know some business things, but like hire an expert.
Right. Well, a lot of people got into business to do what they're good at, right? Their trade specifically. You didn't get into business to write email campaigns or run reports. You got into business to help people. And so I want to take all of those more difficult things, or not even difficult, just complex, or not complex, but time consuming tasks off your hands by automating them. I always leave people with a thought provoking question is, write down all the actions that you do on a daily basis, a weekly basis, and a monthly basis in your business. I am 1000% certain at least a few of those can be automated, right? Like, I'm sure there's something you're doing, like with your social media, for example, that you can automate. Make a recurring post. If you have like a testimonial Tuesday, sit down once a month or once a quarter and schedule all of the Tuesdays out. Maybe you have a motivation Monday with a quote. Schedule all of those out. Maybe you have every quarter you have a, how did your quarter go type message. Well, just have that on, recurrent, so that you don't have to use the brain space to make something new all the time. You don't have to use the brain space. Oh, shoot, I forgot to do this, or I forgot to do that, or follow up with this person. One thing that has saved my business is that when I reach out to a new lead, if they don't reply, well, the next day they're getting a text message. And then the next day they're getting an email, and then another text message. And so I don't want to have to remember. I do it the first time, and then it just goes automatically. Same thing when I send out proposals to people, right? Those are hot leads. Those are people who said, yes, I want to sign up. Let's go. Can you help me with my business? What's the cost? We've been on a call. I take the time to write it out. I'm not going to take the time to chase people. So I have that already set up. The automations take care of that. That allows me to free up so much of my time, and even more importantly, the brain space. I can imagine being in sessions with people. You don't want to think, oh shoot, did I do that? I got to remember that. When you need to be 100% focused on your patient, you can't be thinking, oh, I got to remember to send that email, or get out that invitation. That can't be the case. And we don't know what we don't know. So people don't know that these automations even exist, or they think you have to be some super tech savvy person in order to understand how to do all this. But that's actually not the case. And at Taft Systems, we really pride ourselves in offering what we call kind of concierge support, where it's a lot done for you, done with you. Like for all of our clients, we do an onboarding call. We do a 2-week check-in, a 6-week check-in. We have weekly trainings. We have monthly, we call them design dates, where we all get together and design like our sales page, or our email automation, or we did a quiz last week, because quizzes are like the newest, hottest thing now. So we actually should talk about that for you, Kathy, to do a quiz.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
I have a question here. Can you,
Yeah.
I know you offer a lot of services and you've expanded since I've brought you on board. Could you describe your services and kind of how people can find you, and I think it's specific for the therapist market, because we're trying to help therapists build their consulting businesses, and where do they register for individuals and groups, and try and make that as easy as possible. I sometimes set things up and they get wonky, and they don't follow through. So I'm doing the best I can.
Yeah, you're
So
doing great.
That to the therapist, like, oh yeah, I didn't put that in my calendar, So I wanted to ask you to help educate us on all your services, because you've expanded and we're just so proud of you. And I'm curious also how big your team is now.
Yeah, thank you. So I'll start backwards. The team is currently 4 people, including myself, and we have an interview with another person on Wednesday. Who I think might be an amazing addition to the team. And we are really an all-encompassing business. So I like to just dumb it down as simple as possible and say we are an all-in-one business management platform with concierge support. So you can find us at taftsystems.com/CRM for our platform, or just taftsystems.com, and then you can like see our services. And so our platform, what is provided there is a HIPAA compliant platform. We do have a few therapists already on our roster, and you get a social media scheduler. You get unlimited calendars, so you can have one specifically for group, one specifically for one-on-one. You could even have like a special events calendar. We connect with your payment processors like Stripe and PayPal, so you can set up sales pages and an online shop. Maybe you have some digital products you sell, or maybe you want people to purchase your sessions beforehand. We also have a website builder, so you don't have to pay for a website. You pay for your domain, but you can build your own website inside the platform or use one of our 1,000 plus templates. We have email marketing, text message marketing. We have a very, very nice dashboard where you can, see how your business is doing. You can customize it to set up whatever type of reports that you want. So instead of every month or every week going in and try to set all your filters and pull all the reports, you set it up one time, you go in and it's already automatically up to date for you to have that data. So it saves you time. We integrate with Facebook, Instagram, Google, Twitter or X, LinkedIn, so that you can, if you run ads on anything, or TikTok as well. We also have a unified inbox, which is one of the best features, in my opinion, of the platform. I am not very good at checking my text messages, and I think Kathy knows that. I'm not very good at that. I'm much faster answering emails than text messages. However, with our unified inbox, you can see all of your messages in one place, whether that be voicemails, text messages, Facebook messages, Instagram messages, emails, all in one place. And that is like truly a lifesaver to me.
Yeah, that's amazing. I had no idea. That's great.
Yeah. We do review management so that, as I mentioned, you want to automate when you're requesting reviews. The nice thing too is that you can actually reply to those reviews, whether it be on Facebook or Google, directly from our platform. So you're not having to remember how to navigate the back end of Google My Business, which is challenging because you don't typically do it very often. In order to thank someone for leaving you a review, right? When you reply to those reviews, Google sees you, Google likes you, Google puts you up higher so others can find you. Another feature that we have that is like one of our most popular features is what we call our missed call text back. So let's say you're in a session with someone, obviously you're not on your phone, you're not looking at your phone, but maybe someone's calling you about setting up a session or joining your group program. Well, you want them to know that, hey, I want to talk to you. So if you miss the call, they automatically get a custom text message that says, it can say whatever you want it to say, but the default is like, hey, it's Kathy from Rewired 360. So sorry I missed your call. How can I help? And that way you don't lose business by not answering the phone. And if you're anything like me, I'm horrible with my phone. I am a millennial who's horrible with her phone. I put on do not disturb and then I forget about it. Or I'll go put it somewhere and I lose it, or I just put it somewhere and then I'm constantly on the computer. So when I'm done working for the day, I don't want to be on my phone. And then I'm like, oh shoot, I forgot that. But because we have our platform and I get everything integrated there, it's so much easier for me to keep business, and my personal, and know that, okay, when I'm on the computer, anything I see there is all business. So then I can allow my phone to be, because that's just personal after, and not worry about any clients with anything, right? I also think another very popular feature are our workflows, and our workflows are essentially setting up the automations, and you can customize literally in any way that works for your business. We do provide some default workflows for our clients, like the appointment reminders, appointment cancellations. Have you ever had someone cancel and then they don't ever rebook? That, maybe they didn't rebook because they just forgot, or maybe, they were like, oh shoot, I'm double booked. Let me cancel real quick and I'll get back to that. And then they forget. Well, we set it up so that if someone cancels, they get a message. Hey, do you need a rain check? Maybe they don't book that day. Well, they get a message the next day. Hey, life gets really busy. We understand. Don't let that stop you from getting, whatever the benefit is that they want. We also offer, workflows for, let's say you have a freebie on your website, like a lead magnet, right? You want to give people some information in exchange for their email. Well, you can set up a workflow so that you're nurturing them. When they come in, you give them a tag so they're segmented. Obviously, it's all automated. But then you're working smarter, not harder, when you're going to send out your email campaigns. And another feature I absolutely love, I know I keep saying I love all the features, I really do, but another feature I love is that you can automatically resend emails that were not opened, which it just is so nice, because then okay, this person, if they didn't open it, maybe they were just busy right then and there, or this person's not so interested, so I'm not going to waste a bunch of time manually reaching out or doing anything. I'll just let the automation take care of the rest. So in a nutshell, we do all the things for you to manage your business on the back end.
Wow. I just think that what you're sharing, because I know for me coming into this online digital building your business in this invisible field is incredible. And it's like how you shared, we don't know what we don't know. And so I know for myself, and then probably speaking for so many other therapists, we want to be able to have our brain space freed up. Many of us have tabs. I'm one of them that I have about 50,000 tabs open, right? And so it sounds like automation is a way we can just delegate, right? Delegate some things. I'm a solopreneur at the moment, and I've been hearing a lot about automation, and hearing it from an expert now paints a picture about why it's needed, right? Especially if you're doing the journey alone, but even if you're somebody who have a team, it still kind of helps to take some of those pressures off, right? One of the things that I wanted to backtrack and say, when you were talking about, taking time, right? Because let's say you do have someone like myself who's doing this journey alone, right? And at a very a fresh start or just starting out, and they're trying to market social media, maybe Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. Can you just share maybe a strategy, right? A simple one that they may be able to use to help them get out of all over the place and just kind of maybe automate their social media posting.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, one of the best strategies is, of course, to sign up with us and then come to our office hours or our design dates, because then it's like you're booking a time that you're going to get it done in, right? And maybe just put something on the calendar and meet with someone else at the same time to work on the same thing to hold you accountable. And then while you're, holding that space, I think having just some simple posts that are providing value, not just asking for the sell, but providing value with simple information on how people can reach you, on how you can help people, so that your patients or your clients can find you easily. Don't focus on trying to get something scheduled on all channels. Focus on one channel, because that seems more doable. And it is better that you are consistent, maybe one post a week, versus oh, I'm going to post every single day. And you do that for 1.5 weeks and then you don't post in 4 months.
The tank goes dry. I've done that before.
Exactly. Also use the resources you have. ChatGPT Gemini, those are free resources you can use to create your social media post. But don't just say, make social media posts for me. Give ChatGPT some background. Tell ChatGPT, hey, I'm a therapist. I specialize in EMDR. My ideal client is a 40-year-old mom who is experiencing pre-empty nest syndrome, and she doesn't understand or know about the benefits of EMDR and how it can help her. Please write, 5 motivating posts in a friendly manner using the voice of Kerry Taft on taftsystems.com website. And then ChatGPT can do that for you. And then it sounds like you, because it'll go scour your website or, whatever. Maybe you really admire someone else in the field. And you can say, can you make me some post in the voice of so-and-so? And then you can just change things so that it matches you, your brand, your message, right? I don't think we think about that. I don't think we realize the tools that we have at our fingertips. Now, I will say, as a professor, I was not in love when ChatGPT came out, because I had a lot of students plagiarize and cheat and things like that. So I will say, you do it at your own risk. Make sure the information, at least you change some of it so it's your writing. And make sure what is there is true, because I've definitely seen ChatGPT make false citations or references. Mind blown by that, actually. But that's a very simple tactic. Like, anyone can do ChatGPT from their phone or their computer, and all you got to do is plug it in one time. You can even save that prompt for another time. And then one thing I do want to encourage, especially women running a business, don't be afraid to ask for the sell. So not all your posts should be about a sell, but at least a third of them should have some call to action. Hey, sign up now, book your session, learn more, get this free guide. And then you start nurturing them to book a call or, whatever action that you want. There needs to be a call to action. Yes, we want to give, we want to serve, but we can't pay the bills on smiles and hugs and people patting us on the back, right?
The balance. I think Tamara and I were talking yesterday about, I just messaged her, I said, I'm just over, burnout, posting, trying to get, these ideas. And then, she was like, let's just do the relationship selling and, take our Zoom video and then post it, take little clips instead of just working on the content, working on the relationship marketing too. So there's a little bit more where people get to know, like, and trust you. And so there's all these strategies, and just be honest. I mean, you guys know this. Sometimes it's exhausting about how to reach the consumer, right?
Yeah.
And so we don't want to overdo it. We don't want to spam, but we want to deliver, but we don't want to over deliver or under deliver. I'm just like, sometimes, just like going back to the basics, kind of like when I was EMDR trained, I came back, I was ready for my first session, like, let's do the whole protocol. And then I realized, like, they're just here to attune to you, just attune. That's it. Throw the whole thing out the window, attune. And so I'm kind of in that balance right now where I'm like, I love the automations, I love all that. But like, it was almost like, I just got to kind of integrate and shift. And I'm new, I'm a new entrepreneur too, but it's kind of difficult,
Yeah, and it can definitely feel incredibly overwhelming as well. Like, it's like you're suddenly starting a master's program when you're learning about automations and you completely skip the bachelor's. So it is very hard. Another tactic I will say is, like, if you have a video, if you have a link with a video, put that in ChatGPT and say, hey, ChatGPT, can you make 5 social media posts from this video? Can you break down this video and make 2 blog posts referencing this video and the key points in this video, so that you're not like redoing all the work with thinking about, oh, how can I repurpose this? Let the free resources, the free tools that you have do that work for you.
I just love what you have shared with us, Kerry. You know, I loved how you talked about just number one, what I'm taking away is, especially for those of us, I'm very much, I started this journey as an entrepreneur in private practice, not really in tune with what I was doing. I just kind of took the leap and wasn't carrying a full cup of confidence. I wasn't sure if what I was going to do was going to work out and pay the bills, like you said, right?
Yeah.
But one of the things that is very clear to me is that those of us who are on this journey, there is help. There's help in the form of tools, and then there's help with amazing people who we are recognizing as experts like yourself, who is really passionate, right? Who's passionate about helping people to better make their lives more easier, more efficient, and to get to that sweet spot where you are not only adding value to the lives of others, but like you said, adding value to your own life because you deserve that. But we've got to make the investment, right? But there are those simple tools to get us started, like ChatGPT or Gemini, things like you said. And then taking that time, maybe you spend an hour in a month or blocking off time to get the content done, okay, and then ask the questions, book the appointment for the consultations. I think sometimes too, and it'll be interesting to see how you and Kathy feel about this. One of the things I've run into that I've often shared with my clients who are women, and because we know, many women, I know me myself, I'll speak for myself, that money has been just a resource of survival, a major source of survival. And so we look at it from that lens, and then we get into this mindset of being afraid to invest our money because we're just used to, I've had clients, Kerry, that will say, well, I can't really afford da 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 da. And I'll where I've got this, where I'm getting ready to make this statement, is an experience I had. Maybe you appreciate this. I was going to a gym working with a personal trainer. And he was like, you should sign up for this program. The program was like $500 or something. I was like, I don't have it. Kerry, he asked me, he said, are you eating your money? I was like, what? I was so offended. But what I realized was he was really challenging that I really not have the money. And I was so offended. I was like, he's rude. And he said, I would encourage you to go look at your bank account because you probably have it and you can invest it in yourself instead of the snacks.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, wait a minute. And when I went and I did that, I noticed I was spending more than $600 on the food. So I went ahead on, took the plunge and utilized that money, signed up for the program, lost the most amount of weight I'd ever lost and felt so good. But there's that conversation we got to have and say to us as women, take a look at your budget for your dreams and your goals and for what you need and the help you need, and be willing to make some change, right? And invest in the help, and I would just love to hear just your thoughts about that, on encouraging us to make the investment and take a look and kind of make some shifts to get the support you need, right?
Absolutely. No, that's a great analogy. And I used to use that all the time when I worked in health and fitness as well, to break it down. How many times a week do you go to Starbucks? How many times a week do you eat out? And all of that. But when it comes to running a business, I ask my clients or potential clients, can you afford to not do this? Like, how much is your time worth? So we charge $150 a month. You pay for your text messages and your emails. It's $10 is 10,000 emails. So maybe you're paying like, 150, 160 a month, maybe, but 150 a month. Like, how much do you get from one patient or one client, right? How much is your time worth if you were to sit down and you remember that list I told you to make earlier, what tasks you're doing on a daily basis, a weekly, monthly, quarterly? Think about all the time it takes you to do those tasks. And if you could save 3 hours, 4 hours, 5, 6, 7 hours a month, it seems like you're spending more than $150 to work those extra 5, 6, 7 hours a month versus investing in the automations. The nice thing with Taft Systems is that we want to be fair. We don't want to gouge you when you are a growing solo or growing entrepreneur, right? We want to provide you with a platform that grows with you without extra charges. We want to make it as accessible as possible to all of our clients, regardless if they are just starting out or if they've been in business for 5 years. If you still, after doing, that first assignment of mapping everything you do, seeing how much time it takes, what could you automate, if you still think that $150 a month is still too expensive, I then truly ask you to look within yourself and say, are you running a business or do you have an expensive hobby? Because if you still think 150 is too much, and I'm not trying to be mean to anyone, I understand we all have different, backgrounds and, even childhood histories with money. I have a daughter who turns 18 actually in a week and a half, and I told myself I would never ever tell her we can't afford this. And I've never done that. Instead, I've said, we have X amount to spend. What would you like to prioritize? We cannot purchase this and this. We can purchase this or that. Which would you like instead? Because I grew up very poor and hearing we don't have money, we can't afford it, we don't have money, we don't have money. So that, I'm not blaming my parents, but that definitely shaped my view on money as if I don't have money. And actually, I do have money. I'm not balling by any means, but I have money to go get my nails done if I want to get my nails done. I have money to go buy a new outfit if I so please. I have money to pay all my bills. So I do have money. So why would I tell myself I can't afford something that's going to make me even more money, right? So I understand everyone has their own relationship with money. Some people don't feel comfortable talking about money, especially as women, we're told to not talk about money. But if you get into like a boardroom with a bunch of executive male CEOs and stuff, they're definitely not afraid to talk about money. So like, why should we be afraid to talk about money? And I truly think that if you look at all of the maybe different platforms you're spending money on, your email platform, your CRM platform, your text messaging platform, maybe you have a social media scheduler platform, you have a Calendly or Acuity, some type of calendar platform, add all those prices up together that you're paying. Well, I'm pretty sure that's going to be more than 150. So again, you're paying to work, and we don't want that. We want to help you make more money and reach more people and, improve more lives. And so it's an uncomfortable question, but are you, an entrepreneur, or do you have an expensive hobby? And not everyone likes to answer that.
I love that, Kerry. I mean, and because I just think I've been saying this, even on my online platforms, that we just got to stop being the ostrich, right? And putting our heads in the sand. And if we're going to change the direction in some of the issues that we're seeing in culture, business, all the things, then those of us who are willing to look up and call a thing, then we got to be willing to have those conversations, give it voice, and then be the change we want to see. And calling us to the carpet and saying, do you have a hobby or are you running a business? And challenging us to take a look at those money stories so that we can, right, Kerry, invest in ourselves and our business so we can see growth, live with more ease and efficiency, right? And so we just really thank you for being here. I'm going to toss this hot mic over to Kathy, okay, because this conversation has been incredible. And I hope that the listening audience today had their pencil, their notepad, and took down where they could find Taft Systems, okay? And so, but we just are so grateful, so thankful to have you here, and want to give Kathy the mic to kind of lead us to surrendering you to your Friday.
First of all, I would encourage anybody who says that they have a hobby to really validate themselves and feel like they have a business. I think Tamira won't mind if I share this, but you know, she had said when I met her, you know, I kind of do this and that. I'm like, you are going to be a doctor. You're getting your doctorate. You have a business. Don't underestimate yourself. And, you know, to see that growth and to hear her say that and transform it, I just, you know, even in the accountant world, they would say, is this a hobby or is this a business? If it's not making money 3 years, you know, it's a hobby. So if you're a hobby, what's it going to take for you to get to a business? So I think that point is very, very important. That's where I'm taking therapists, is to ultimately lead their own businesses and take their hobby or their private practice and do what they love all the time. And I'm definitely going to be scheduling a one-on-one with you, Kerry, after this, with all of the things that I, you know, the good nuggets that you brought forward, because I just am so, I don't know, I just think the universe just loves me so much because they bring people like you and Tamira in my life, and I'm just humble enough to follow. So I'm just so grateful for you as well. Didn't know you had an 18-year-old. I know you had a cute little dog, Ashton, who likes to picture in his bathtub, but
Yes.
I'm so grateful. So you can find Kerry at taftsystems.com. Also, we wanted to announce Tamira and I are putting together a mental health summit for next year, so you can look forward to that. And we are also can find us at rewired360.com. We have our documentation training coming up, and then we'll have a refresher course. And then next year, we're going to be offering our EMDR basic training. So we're definitely going to need automations there as well. But just so grateful that we found you, that we've connected, that it's worked. And looking forward to investing more in myself, trying to figure that out. So anything else you'd like to share, Kerry, with our listening audience before we go?
Just, you know, you can do this. Business is hard, life is hard, business is hard, but you can do this. I really want to leave people with not feeling overwhelmed. Write it down, write everything down. You can always revisit it when you feel ready. Do one step at a time. If you write it down, then you have your map, right? Then you have your list. Then you know what to do when you do have extra brain space, extra time, extra money to, you know, progress your business further. And thank you so much for having me. This has been amazing.
Yes, you are amazing. I just, I don't know. You have your people that you think are your rock stars. I mean, you're really a rock star, a diamond in the rough. So I'm just so happy to have you here. So Tamira, do you want to take us out?
I'm so grateful, so thankful, Kerry. You just gave us so many, you just left so much gold dust all over the place that we can all kind of glean from and put into action. And so I'm so grateful and just want to reinforce that message. Life is hard. Building a business is hard work, but we can do this. So, Kerry, thank you so much for blessing us with your voice, with your wisdom, with your expertise, and guiding us on where we can contact you and get the help and support we need from real people who have real heart and real passion to support others. So incredible.
Thank you.
All right, we will see you next time. We're wishing you're staying cool out there in the summer, and we'll see you next time. Take care.
Take care.